Oh yes, good night Trinidad and Tobago.
But in vain.
Oh yes, there you go. Oh yeah. Good evening.
I was here before on the same dance floor, trying to party, but in vain. Here I am once more on a higher plane. I went on training from my day. Now I go party, I go party. I getting on was, I getting on was. I come back rehearsing, I come back rejoicing. I go party right this time. Oh yeah. I can remember last time I stood while everybody having a ball. Now I know better. Preach Peter, preach Paul. I won't be moving so at all. Now I go party, I go party. I getting on was, I getting on was. The party exciting, I ready for jamming. I playing myself this time. Oh yeah, give me. And it came to pass for the second time. I on the dance floor, not like before. I go play a mass, wait and you will see. Nothing this time is stopping me. Now I go party, I go party. I carry on, was, I carry on, was. I ready for loving, I ready for jamming, to enjoy myself this time. Oh yeah. Give me. Now I go party, I go party. I getting on, was, I getting on, was.
Right.
I come back rehearsing, I come back rejoicing. I go party right this time.
So let them know that we are here, we are here. It will take my little time to build up. It will take me a little time to, but share it. We need to let people know that we are here. That's what build the YouTube. Let's wait a little bit. Let me build this thing. Let me get this thing on the road. So, wait, wait. Other people transferring over to YouTube. So, cool. Good. Quality is good. Everything is good. Um, let's share it. Let's share it. Yeah, so let me share it and just do a little share. Copy the thing. 5 minutes gone already. Time and wasting on YouTube at all. So let me just go over here to stay it here a little bit. Stay it a little more. Yes, let me let people know that I hear we yes, yeah. Yes, shade. Don't waste time, let me shade. Don't waste time. Yeah, let me shade. Well, the question is, who will be next police commissioner? And I know for a fact that a number of people is asking that question night, night, night. And yes, a lot of people are asking that question. And that seems to be on everybody's mind. Now, there was a whole list of 25 people who would have applied for the job. And, well, you know how the things go. Not all persons could qualify. So it came down to a short listing. And as it came down to a short listing, you now have basically only two persons, basically, or three persons vying for this particular um, position. So what's up with the police? Why is this that this big rush as what one would want to bring back one Gary Griffith? Is Gary Griffith really fit for the position? I don't know. I just be asking this question because I don't know whether or not if he's really fit. But I know based on my experiences and what I have seen this individual is capable of doing, I don't think he's fit. But we have to wait for the Police Service Commission to make that announcement. And I know they would have shortlisted a number persons. And who knows, we may very well see our new police commissioner being a woman. And I think she is more than qualified. I think she's ready to hold that position. I think she's more ready than ever before. And I think she will bring that difference in terms of a love. I think she will treat men in the organization with a different type of a different type of order, and we may very well see people falling in line. Now, the reason why I'm over on the YouTube page is because Facebook banned me again. Yeah, they banned me for 7 days, and I think Facebook has really become obsolete. It really and truly has become obsolete. You can't post what you want to say because they want to tell you what you want to say because you don't meet their community standard. So that's why I'm broadcasting YouTube and not to Facebook, as well we have custom, broadcasting under. But the police commissioner, and I'm going to be doing my lives from here on, regardless of what, and building my YouTube page because really and truly the YouTube goes all over the world faster, and people internationally could see the YouTube page faster than you see the Facebook page because we are banned from European countries. So we can really see what's going on Facebook on via the European countries, but we can see it over the YouTube. So the police commissioner, I know that there will be people who will come to Baku and here wait till I have to say about the police. The police commissioner would have made a number of blunders. Would have talked a number of times out of it. And a number of police officers under his watch would have seen a number of leave, suspension, you name it, investigations over 30 something police killings, you know, and one really has to ask the question, is he really fit to be police? Because every time they say something, he always on the offense, on the defense. And is it really befitting of an office holder to be always in that kind of manner? And then when you watch the people who defending him, you have some women who are defending him, but little like they don't know, this man goes into women's inbox and puts information that is not fitting for a police officer to be putting in people's inboxes about them. And then nobody, he seems to be untouchable. He seems to be so untouchable that everybody like to afraid him. Until he's starting to get people to campaign for him now. Yeah, because people will think that he's people campaigning for the police commissioner. Because you can't tell me that the business community all of a sudden jump up in support and is claiming that they want Gary. They want Gary. And they're showing you figures, they're showing you stats, they're showing you this, they're showing you that. But really and truly, is it fitting for business people to be campaigning for a man to be in office? Is it really fitting for people to be doing that? Especially businessmen? When we have seen over a number of years, drugs moving in Canada, we seeing all kind of drugs, guns, you name it, but very few people being held on these drug raids and drug busts. Very few people. So yes, Gary, I like your stats you put up in the paper and you put up on your new page about the guns. No guns being used for this, no guns being used for that. Yeah. Although I will debunk some of that information and say that may not be very well true. But while you putting out your stats, then tell me, how come all the investigations, including the little marijuana on the ledge, how come all those cases just drop? There's no evidence, there's no evidence, there's no evidence. But all of a sudden, the people who didn't support you in the parliament to become police commissioner, all of a sudden now, one is supporting you. One is behind you, 100%, and talking about there's this thing to bring down the top cop. I don't think nobody brought him down. I think he brought down himself. Especially when it had the Joel Balcon and the Andrew Morris case. Nobody never brought down the man. He would have brought down himself. Because the amount of times that he came and spent a different set of talk on the national TV, one always had to question, is Gary Griffith really and seriously telling us the truth? Because when you look at our information that we put out in the public, and I'm talking about those 11 percenters that he's talking about, you will realize that Gary Griffith just may not have been telling the full story on many of these particular cases. It's as though then bring something, all right, they do how it going. We draw for fire, we draw a firearm and we fire back and end the story. The three people who was murdered in Mova, they didn't have no gun. They didn't even draw for the gun. They didn't have time to go for the gun. In fact, the police walk up on them, including innocent persons who was in the vehicle. And we saw on a videotape, a cold-blooded murders. 3 cold-blooded murders on a videotape. And what was the response? Well, they went to the area, and this is one thing, because they're always happy to talk without doing proper investigation. And it's only when the man came out, the people would have seen that the police would have killed the people in cold-blooded murder. There was no guns drawn. But yet still, we have people who are saying, we want Bigari. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. There will always be those who are for and those who are against. And if you are saying the majority wants you, then how come on your page, this new page, Gary Griffith Jr., you're not getting the thousands of likes that you once used to have? But, or in the comments, because I think people have started to realize that your days have come to an end. But let me go further than that. Even when they started to talk about the FUL, you jump on the defense because they say Stephen Williams, you did better than what Stephen Williams did. Well, you would have done better than what Stephen Williams did, because Stephen Williams was an actor and he was acting in the post. He would have been acting in the post. So therefore, he wasn't holding the substantive post. So you can't come to tell people that the man was holding, that the man was thinking a post when the man was only acting. So you could sign off, you could do plenty things that he couldn't have done. But yet still, you want to attack him. You attack the general, the major, you attack this one, you attack that one. You just like to attack. You understand? You just like to attack. Now, I would have just known that good data, but I want to come running and but nevertheless, and now we see a surge in crime, but only a certain type of crime. Only a certain type of crime, and all of a sudden tomorrow we're going to hear, if Gary was here, these would have never been happening. These type of crime would have never been happening. But if it is that you're encouraging people and you granted permission for march under SOE, then we was telling the people, you granted people to march under SOE, knowing fully that is very much impossible. But again, it's Gary. Anything you want to hear, Jack? Gary. There was thing happening on it. Where's Gary? And then the public wanted to hear. But now they're asking, where Gary? They want to know who will be the new police commissioner. So that they will start to sing a new tune. Now, word on the ground is that we may very well have a woman police commissioner. And if we have a woman police commissioner, to God be the glory. I think it will bring about a change. I think that the morale will be lifted when they deal with them, not just like a mother, but she's with them, right? Because she's going to beat out all the bad elements that call in themselves police officers. And I think she's ready to take that position, unlike Gary Griffith. Because you cannot tell me that you're talking about a man that have how many guns? Long range, short range, all kind of range. But on a party boat, a legal advisor holding a party, and a woman want to come off the boat, can't come off the boat until Coast Guard had to get involved and a whole drama to take place. And when you do hear the shout, is how many people on the boat had how many guns on the boat. What were they expecting on the sea? A war? Because why one person had about 3 guns on them, and some of them were not even on duty. Some of them wasn't on duty, and the man go bust again. So those who wanted to be police commissioner, those who would have wanted to become police commissioner, somebody would have ratted out on Oya. Because they didn't want Oya to move ahead of them. So I'm not calling the commissioner name because I'm not saying that he was involved in any of that. But there were those persons inside of the police service who would have leaked out information to certain elements in the media. And that was to discredit those who would have become, who wanted to become the police commissioner in Trinidad and Tobago. And they would have leaked it out to strategic people. And so you would have seen many of the 25 people who would have applied for the post of police commissioner dropped off drastically, including the 2 people who would have been at the police service, police welfare service. Like I see, and Gramasa. Both were thrown off. Well, one in the courthouse still, trying to touch a lifeline. But when you really throw it out, who would have leaked out these information into the public domain? Who? And why? Who? Who had to benefit everything and lost nothing? Who? And how all of a sudden, all these information about these police officers came out in the public domain, one by one by one, and easy by easy, sent on leave or suspension. How come? Who was stand to benefit off of these things? But you see, the poor lady who is there, the poor lady who is there is a good thing. Heart is clean. Heart is clean and it's pure. and her hands are not dirty. And that is why people respect her. People respect her more than they respect the former police commissioner. So now that Gary became acting police, he was a police, and then he contracted him, then they put him as an acting police commissioner. He had to go silent at one point. And then he started to make certain statements in the public domain. And I think that's when they realized, hey, we had enough. Just how America sent a strong message to Trump, I think they sent a strong message to him and said, hey, you know what? Go and leave. Take some time. If they pick you, they pick you. But I don't think with what they would have sent you on leave for would have given you that added edge to become the police commissioner. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm not too sure, but I know budget is coming. But stay tuned. Parliament is going to get the list, and we should know who will become the police commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago very, very soon. Don't be surprised. It might be very well announced when the budget. So people, stay tuned. I will do my live continuously from here on YouTube, filling my YouTube. And you will see. So, look out. Look out. Let me just get this thing here. Look out, because tomorrow I want to dive in to some PSA. And then we're going to dive into this Muslim man who was arrested also, because I don't know, something just not too right with some of these people doing. So, enjoy your night. Enjoy your night. A song, boy. What was a song? Just wait one. So enjoy the night and see you tomorrow.
I was here before on the same dance floor, trying to party, but in vain. Here I am once more on a higher plane. I went on train from my day. Now I go party, I go party. I get it on was, I get it on was. I come back rehearsing, I come back rejoicing. I go party right this time. Oh yeah. I can remember last time I stood while everybody having a ball.